Emmy-nominated actor, thank you very much. Tituss Burgess got his start on Broadway. He starred in hits including Good Vibrations, Jersey Boys, Little Mermaid, and Guys and Dolls. And now his talents are on display on the small screen in the series Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. The show follows Kimmy, who tries to reclaim her life after being held captive by a cult for 15 years. She moves to New York and she meets Tituss. He plays a gay wannabe Broadway actor. In season 2, Tituss's wife Vonda comes back into the picture, and Kimmy ain't happy that he ditched his wife right after the wedding.
Pizza party for one, divorce, dead and having some fun. Pizza party for one, I don't have pizza. What's wrong, Kim Blake Nelson?
I don't know, Tituss. What is wrong? And what's right? And what's just,
I find that life is mostly gray areas, especially the parts I can't reach with moisturizer.
Uh-huh. Is that why you thought it was okay to be so mean to Vonda?
I don't know what you're referring to, because in the movie I saw, I was a hero scoring a legal victory for young renegades everywhere.
You couldn't even apologize to her.
There are 3 things Tituss Andromedon does not do: apologies, drag, and calculus.
I think Tituss Andromedon, Tituss Burgess joins us at the table.
Thank you guys for having me.
We're so glad you're here. Tina Fey said she first met you at 30 Rock, where you played the hairdresser.
Dufwan.
Dufwan. I like
Yes.
the name Dufwan.
Yes.
And she said she wasn't sure if you were playing a character or you were just a wonderful weirdo, but she knew she had to have you.
Well, I'm not. Maybe she still doesn't know the difference. I don't know.
But it turns out you were just acting Tituss Burgess.
I was just acting. I was just pretending. We had a good time over at 30 Rock.
Yeah.
I miss that show.
But she said she wrote this show, this character just for you, yet you had to audition.
Well, look, this was proved to be my first series regular.
Yeah.
On a network television show, and I suppose I had to prove to the network that I had the chops, so I did, and then there you go. I'm glad it worked out.
What did you do in your audition? Because you're so good at accents.
What did I do? My goodness. Well, the script for the pilot was very different at the audition than what subsequently the pilot actually turned out to be.
Yeah.
So there was all sorts of things there, but I pulled out every trick I had to try and get that job, honey. Yes, I did.
Now, some people say you're very similar to the character you play, but you say you're very different.
I don't think. Look, I mean, I certainly borrow from my personal catalog of failures. You know,
You like calculus?
No, but you know, being an actor and in the business, you know, you get told no a lot more than you get told yes, and you know, there's a laundry list of things that it does to your self-esteem, and so it made it very easy to find an end to Tituss's sort of struggle and his trajectory, his plights and such. But in terms of his eccentricities, I don't know that we share very many. I don't.
That's
enjoy
good to know.
Being at the center of attention.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Admits, you know, in between all those rejections, I mean, do you keep the spirit up? How do you do that?
How do you do that? Well, I
Believe that the next one will be a winner?
No, I don't so much look towards. I don't so much look towards the future as the way to keep hope. I always just feel this ever-present tap, this ever-present, you are enough, you are funny, whether someone writes it or you write it yourself, Tituss. You are no less brilliant on screen than you are off. And so I've always had this sort of, I've always understood where I was in the world, who I was in the world. And what my lane was, and I tried to stay in it. And eventually, you know, someone's gonna come and scoop me up.
You said, and they really did. You said being on the show is a political presence for you. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, Tina and Robert certainly don't shy away from all things political and
Robert Garlick, yeah.
You know, whatever the social climate is, they seem to actually be ahead of it. And then by the time it hits the air, whatever it is that we're talking about seems to be topical in the news or current at that moment. And I just feel like my presence is, you know, I'm black and gay and Christian. You know, I'm all the things that get targeted.
Well, you are
Thanks for great television.
You are unbreakable. Thank you, Tituss.
It's my pleasure.
And an Emmy
Good to have you.
nominated person.